Marcus's knuckles whiten as the flight attendant towers over him, her voice slicing through the hushed first-class cabin. "Move to the back or I'll have security drag you there." At 12 years old, his only crime is sitting in the seat his father bought seat 1A. The passenger's stares burn into him. Phones rise to record. Rebecca Chen doesn't know that her target's father is already in the terminal, and he's not just any dad, he's the CEO of nearly half the airline she works for. In minutes, her smug smile will vanish, and the power she clings to will be stripped away in front of the world. What would you do if this was your child? Drop your country in the comments. 3 terminals away, Marcus's father steps off his private jet. Is this better? Should I proceed to the next section? 2 hours earlier, Marcus enters the premium terminal, a lone boarding pass clutched in his small hand. The United Airlines gate agents exchange suspicious glances as he approaches their desk. "Whose child is this?" Agent Patricia Miller whispers to her colleague, eyeing Marcus's youth with immediate skepticism. Security Officer Brooks notices the commotion and approaches. "Son, where are your parents?" His tone suggests Marcus doesn't belong here. Marcus responds politely, "I'm traveling alone, sir. Here's my documentation." He produces his unaccompanied minor paperwork government ID and first-class boarding pass. Brooks examines everything twice, then calls for verification. "This ticket legitimate?" he asks the gate agent. "Purchased 3 weeks ago with a platinum corporate card," Miller confirms, reluctantly. Meanwhile, Rebecca Chen begins her shift briefing. At 42, she's worked for United 15 years, building a reputation for maintaining standards. Her personnel file contains 5 formal complaints about discriminatory treatment, all dismissed due to lack of evidence. Ladies and gentlemen, Rebecca addresses her crew. Remember, we're representing excellence today. First-class passengers expect a certain atmosphere. Her emphasis on certain carries unmistakable meaning. Marcus texts someone. "Boarding now, Dad. See you soon." The response arrives instantly. "Be strong, son." Almost there. Other passengers begin noticing the boy traveling alone. Margaret Thompson, a 70-year-old retired teacher, offers him snacks. "What a polite young man," she tells her husband. Marcus thanks her graciously, but declines. He opens a college-level economics textbook, drawing more curious stares. Rebecca watches from the jetway, her prejudice intensifying with each passing moment. She approaches the gate agent. "That boy in 1A, run his ticket again." "Ma'am, we've verified it twice. It's legitimate." "Check the card holder name," Rebecca demands. The agent complies. "James Williams platinum status, no flags." Rebecca studies Marcus like a predator. Something about this situation feels wrong to her, though she can't articulate why. Her instincts, poisoned by years of unconscious bias, tell her this child doesn't belong in her first-class cabin. Rebecca discovers the cardholder's name, but misreads everything about the situation. Rebecca approaches Marcus during final boarding, her smile false and condescending. "Excuse me, young man. There's been a mistake." Marcus looks up from his economics textbook, marking his place carefully. "No mistake, ma'am. This is my assigned seat. Sweetie, first-class seats are for certain passengers." Rebecca's voice drips with manufactured concern. "Let me find you somewhere more appropriate." She reaches for his boarding pass, but Marcus pulls it back gently yet firmly. "I have a confirmed first-class ticket. I'd like to remain here, please." The interaction draws attention from nearby passengers. Margaret Thompson watches with growing alarm. Todd Harrison, a businessman in seat 1C, discreetly begins recording on his phone. Rebecca's voice rises, abandoning all pretense of politeness. "Don't get smart with me, young man. Where are your parents? My father will be joining me shortly." Marcus responds with quiet dignity that contrasts sharply with Rebecca's escalating aggression. "I seriously doubt that." Rebecca signals to David Martinez, the junior flight attendant, who approaches reluctantly. David looks uncomfortable. "Ma'am, his ticket is valid. Maybe we should—" "Don't tell me how to do my job." Rebecca snaps, her face flushing red. She whirls back to Marcus. "I'm asking you one final time. Move to the back of the plane or I'll have security remove you." Marcus remains seated, hands folded in his lap. I paid for this seat. I'm not moving. Passengers begin murmuring. Margaret speaks up. He's done absolutely nothing wrong. Rebecca's eyes blaze. Ma'am, please mind your own business. This doesn't concern you. But more passengers are paying attention now. Todd Harrison clears his throat. Actually, it concerns all of us. This is discrimination. The word hangs in the air like an accusation. Rebecca's composure cracks completely. She fumbles for her phone, dialing the gate with shaking fingers. We have a situation in first class, she announces loudly enough for everyone to hear. I need security on board immediately. We have a disruptive passenger refusing to comply with crew instructions. Marcus quietly opens his phone and types a single text message. It's happening. 2 security officers board the aircraft as passengers begin filming everything. Officers Martinez and Brooks stride onto the aircraft. Roberto Martinez, a veteran security professional, approaches with measured caution. Officer Brooks, impatient and dismissive, barely glances at the situation before deciding. Rebecca immediately launches her narrative. This child is refusing to move from a seat he doesn't belong in. He's being disruptive and non-compliant. Martinez approaches Marcus calmly. Son, may I see your boarding pass and identification? Marcus hands over his documents without argument. Martinez examines everything meticulously. Boarding pass, unaccompanied, minor paperwork, government ID. He checks twice, then shows everything to Brooks. This is completely legitimate, Martinez tells his partner quietly. Brooks barely looks. Doesn't matter. Flight crew wants him moved. We move him. Margaret Thompson stands up, her voice shaking with indignation. This is absolutely outrageous. That boy has done nothing wrong. More passengers voice their support. Todd Harrison uploads his video to social media with the caption, "Discrimination happening live on United Flight 847. The post immediately begins gaining traction. Rebecca sees the phone's recording and doubles down on her position. I don't care what anyone thinks. This child is disrupting my cabin environment and I want him removed now. Martinez hesitates, his professional instincts conflicting with the crew's demands. Ma'am, he's been completely respectful. His documentation is valid. I don't see legal grounds for removal. Are you questioning my authority? Rebecca's voice turns shrill, echoing through the now silent cabin. I've been doing this job for 15 years. I know when someone doesn't belong. Brooks steps forward aggressively. Kid, you're coming with us. Don't make this harder than necessary. Marcus finally speaks, his voice steady, despite visible emotion. Officer Martinez, could you please contact your supervisor? I believe there's been a serious misunderstanding. No supervisors! Rebecca shouts, her composure completely shattered. Remove him immediately or I'll report both of you for failing to follow crew instructions. The entire aircraft falls silent, except for the sound of recording devices. Brooks reaches for Marcus's arm. Let's go, son. Marcus stands slowly, gathering his backpack with deliberate dignity. As he rises, he looks directly at Rebecca. My father always taught me that people reveal their true character under pressure. Thank you for revealing yours. The words hit like a physical blow. Even Brooks pauses momentarily. Marcus walks down the aisle, head held high as passengers watch in stunned silence. Some are crying. Others appear furious. Margaret calls out, "We see you, sweetheart. You did nothing wrong." As Marcus reaches the aircraft door, Rebecca can't resist one final cruelty. Next time, fly somewhere you can actually afford. The cabin erupts in outrage. Passengers demand Rebecca's immediate removal. Todd Harrison announces he's live streaming to his 100,000 followers. David Martinez, the junior flight attendant, looks mortified by his colleague's behavior. Officer Martinez escorts Marcus off the plane, whispering, "Son, I'm truly sorry. This isn't right." Marcus pauses at the jetway threshold, turns back toward the aircraft. His phone buzzes with an incoming text that makes him smile slightly. Terminal now. Handle this together. Confident footsteps echo through the jetway, approaching fast from behind them. Marcus walks through the terminal corridor beside Officer Martinez, both heading toward the security office for mandatory incident documentation. But Marcus isn't broken. He's strategizing. In the sterile security office, Martinez reluctantly pulls out paperwork. "Son, I have to file a report, but honestly, this whole situation stinks. You did absolutely nothing wrong." Marcus nods thoughtfully. Officer Martinez: "What's your first name, Roberto? Why do you ask, Roberto? You showed me genuine kindness when others chose cruelty." "I won't forget that." Marcus's maturity surprises the veteran officer. Through the office window, Marcus observes Flight 847 preparing for departure. Rebecca is visible through the aircraft windows, probably celebrating her perceived victory. Other passengers are deplaning in protest. Margaret Todd Harrison and several others forming an impromptu support group. Marcus's phone rings. He glances at the caller ID. Dad. He looks at Roberto. "May I take this call? It's important." Roberto nods, stepping outside to provide privacy. Marcus. The voice carries deep concern, wrapped in controlled authority. "Hi, Dad. I'm safe. It happened exactly like we discussed it might. Are you hurt? Number Officer Martinez is helping me." "Dad, it was worse than we imagined. She didn't just relocate me. She humiliated me in front of everyone." Silence fills the line. When the voice returns, it's steel wrapped in velvet. "Son, I'm incredibly proud of how you handled yourself. Are you ready for Phase 2? "I've been ready." Marcus opens his backpack, revealing sophisticated recording equipment and a professional-grade camera. "I documented everything. Audio and video." "Excellent. Roberto Martinez, the officer with you. He's one of the good ones, Dad. He tried to prevent it. I'll remember that." "Marcus, what did we practice?" Marcus straightens his shoulders unconsciously. "Stay calm. Document everything comprehensively. Trust that justice works when we force accountability, and what else? That sometimes the most powerful justice comes when people reveal exactly who they are." Marcus glances toward the aircraft. "She showed everyone. Dad, the entire cabin witnessed it. Son, I'm walking into the terminal now. Meet me at gate B12 in 5 minutes. And Marcus. Yes, Dad. You just became the youngest civil rights activist I know. Your grandfather would be extraordinarily proud. Marcus ends the call, composing himself carefully. Roberto returns, looking concerned. Everything okay, son? Officer Martinez, my father, has arrived. He's coming to handle this situation properly. Marcus extends his hand for a formal handshake. Thank you for treating me with basic human dignity. Roberto shakes his hand, puzzled by the boy's suddenly formal tone. Of course, son. But who exactly is your father? Marcus gathers his belongings, checks his recording equipment one final time. Through the window. Flight 847's doors are closing. Rebecca probably believes she's won this encounter. Should airlines face criminal charges for discrimination? Let us know your thoughts. You'll discover that in approximately 3 minutes, Officer Martinez, and so will everyone else. Marcus walks toward gate B12 as commotion erupts. Someone very important enters. Flight 847 taxis toward the runway. Inside the cabin, Rebecca basks in her perceived victory, gossiping with David about entitled kids these days. She remains oblivious that the businessman's video has exploded across social media platforms. Todd Harrison's live stream reaches 500,000 viewers in real time. The hashtag Justice for Marcus begins trending nationally within 30 minutes. Margaret, who deplaned in protest, approaches the gate agent with determined fury. I want to file a formal complaint immediately. What happened to that boy was absolutely disgraceful. Other passengers join her complaint. The overwhelmed gate agent frantically calls her supervisor, then her supervisor's supervisor. Meanwhile, in the airport's executive lounge, heads turn as someone strides through with unmistakable authority. Expensive tailored suit, confident bearing security detail trailing discreetly behind. Airport staff instinctively straighten up, recognizing power when they witness it. Back on Flight 847, passengers share the viral video among themselves. David pulls Rebecca aside urgently. Rebecca, you need to see this immediately. The video's everywhere. Justice. Marcus is trending #1 nationally. Rebecca grabs his phone, watching herself humiliate Marcus in high definition. The comment section scrolls rapidly with brutal reactions. Fire her immediately. This is exactly why people hate airlines. That boy showed more class than her. Racist flight attendant exposed. Her face drains of color. How many views? 2 million and climbing exponentially. The captain's voice crackles over the intercom. All flight attendants to the cockpit immediately. Rebecca and David rush forward. Captain Stevens, a 20-year veteran pilot, looks grimmer than death. We have a serious problem. I'm receiving calls from corporate headquarters, the FAA, and multiple media outlets. Something about a passenger discrimination incident. Rebecca attempts damage control. Just a disruptive child, Captain. Handled according to standard protocol. Captain Stevens holds up his phone displaying the viral video. This is your standard protocol. Rebecca, we're being recalled to the gate immediately. What, we can't delay departure for some kid? We're not delaying. We're being investigated. Corporate is dispatching executives. This is a public relations catastrophe. The aircraft begins its turn back toward the gate. Passengers cheer, sensing justice approaching. Rebecca panics. Captain, I've been doing this job for 15 years. I know how to handle difficult situations. Rebecca, stop talking immediately. You're suspended pending full investigation. Effective this moment. A black limousine pulls up to the terminal's VIP entrance. The limousine door opens with authority. James Williams emerges 6'2" in, of composed power, impeccably dressed, radiating the quiet confidence of someone who owns boardrooms. Airport executives rush to greet him, but he waves them off politely yet firmly. Not now. Behind him steps his legal team, 3 sharp attorneys carrying briefcases and tablets. One is already making calls. Yes, we need the FAA regional director here within 60 minutes. At gate B12, Marcus waits calmly still, wearing his navy sweater backpack positioned at his feet. When he sees his father approaching, he stands respectfully. James reaches his son, kneels to eye level, and embraces him tightly. Are you hurt? No, Dad. Just disappointed in humanity. James studies his son's face, recognizing pain behind the composure. Son, what did we discuss about moments like this? That they reveal character and create opportunities for meaningful justice. Exactly. James stands, placing a protective hand on Marcus's shoulder, ready to transform this into a teaching moment for everyone. Meanwhile, Flight 847 reaches the gate. Rebecca watches through the window as airport executives gather urgently. Her phone buzzes incessantly with notifications. Friends, family, colleagues seeing the viral video spreading globally. David approaches her cautiously. Rebecca, maybe you should contact legal representation. Legal representation for what? Doing my job properly. 2.7 million views. Rebecca. The hashtag's trending in 12 countries. Rebecca's confidence finally cracks. She Googles her own name, finding dozens of news articles already published. United Airlines attendant humiliates child. Racist flight crew member caught on video. Boy's dignity intact despite adults' cruelty. Her phone rings. Her supervisor's voice is ice cold. Rebecca, don't speak to anyone. Legal counsel wants you immediately. Through the window, she observes a group approaching the gate. Airport security corporate executives, and her blood runs cold. A tall black man in an expensive suit who moves like he controls the universe. Behind him, attorneys. Rebecca whispers to David, "Who is that?" David zooms in with his phone, runs facial recognition through his app. His face goes ashen. Rebecca? I think that's Marcus's father. James Williams approaches the gate desk and speaks 4 words that change everything. James approaches the gate desk where Margaret and other passengers file complaints. The gate agent recognizes authority instantly and straightens. Sir, how can I assist you? James speaks quietly, his voice carrying unmistakable steel. I'm James Williams. That boy your crew just humiliated is my son. The gate agent's face drains completely of color. Behind James, his legal team spreads out like a tactical formation. One attorney approaches. "We need crew manifests, security footage, and incident reports immediately." Margaret, overhearing, gasps audibly. "You're Marcus's father." "That boy is absolutely extraordinary. What they did was criminal." James nods respectfully. "Ma'am, thank you for defending him. That required real courage. He didn't deserve that treatment. No child ever does." James turns back to the trembling gate agent. "I want to speak with Rebecca Chen immediately." The agent fumbles with her radio. "Sir, she's currently suspended pending." "I didn't ask about her employment status. I asked to speak with her." Flight 847's door opens. Passengers deplane. Many still filming and posting updates. Todd Harrison, the businessman who started the viral phenomenon, approaches James directly. "Mr. Williams, I'm Todd Harrison. I posted the original video. Your son demonstrated incredible dignity throughout that ordeal." James shakes his hand firmly. "Thank you for documenting the truth. Sir, I operate a diversity consulting firm. What I witnessed today was textbook discrimination. I'd like to help however possible. More passengers gather around offering support, sharing their videos and photographs. The story explodes across social media faster than United's PR team can possibly respond. Rebecca finally emerges from the aircraft, flanked by nervous corporate representatives. She spots James, immediately his presence unmistakable, commanding. Her face goes ashen when she realizes this composed, powerful man is the father of the boy she just humiliated publicly. One of James's attorneys approaches Rebecca with a tablet. "Ms. Chen, you've been served? Discrimination lawsuit, civil rights violations, intentional infliction of emotional distress." Rebecca stares at the legal documents, then at James, then at Marcus, standing quietly beside his father with unshakable dignity. I was just doing my job." James steps forward, his voice deadly calm. "Ma'am, you just did my job for me." Rebecca asks the question that will completely shatter her world. "What do you mean?" James Williams straightens his tie, looks Rebecca directly in the eyes, and delivers the revelation that will define this moment. "Miss Chen, I'm the CEO of Meridian Holdings. We own 47% of United Airlines." The words hit like a physical blow. Rebecca staggers backward. The gate area falls silent except for phone cameras capturing every second. James continues, his voice carrying absolute authority. "For the past 6 months, we've been conducting undercover assessments of service quality and discrimination practices across our airline investments. My son Marcus has been traveling various routes documenting his experiences. Marcus steps forward, no longer just a humiliated child, but a young investigator who completed his mission. Dad, should I show them the equipment?" James nods. Marcus opens his backpack, revealing sophisticated recording devices, multiple cameras, and professional documentation tools. "I've been documenting discrimination patterns for 6 months. Today was the most blatant case yet." The corporate representatives flanking Rebecca look mortified. One whispers urgently into his phone. "Sir, we have a catastrophic situation. The CEO of our largest shareholder just served our crew." Rebecca's world crumbles in real time. She looks around desperately. I didn't know." "How was I supposed to know what Miss Chen?" James's voice cuts through her panic like a blade. "Know that you shouldn't discriminate against children based on their race. Know that humiliating a 12-year-old is wrong regardless of his family's wealth." Margaret, the elderly passenger, speaks with conviction. She would have treated him identically if he was any black child. The money doesn't matter. James nods respectfully. "Exactly. This isn't about my position or wealth. This is about basic human dignity." Todd Harrison adds, "I've got the entire incident live-streamed. 4 million viewers watched it happen in real time." One of James's attorneys steps forward with a tablet. "Miss Chen, our investigation uncovered a pattern of discriminatory behavior. 17 documented incidents over 3 years. You've created a hostile environment for minority passengers. Rebecca attempts damage control. Mr. Williams, surely we can resolve this. I made a mistake. but I've been a loyal employee. Loyal to whom James interrupts. Certainly not to the values this company claims to represent. Airport Security Director Thompson approaches nervously. Mr. Williams, sir, I want to apologize for our officer's involvement. James raises his hand. Director Thompson, Officer Martinez showed integrity under pressure. He tried to prevent this discrimination. I'll be recommending him for commendation. Roberto Martinez, watching from nearby, looks shocked. James turns back to Rebecca. Miss Chen, you asked earlier where Marcus's parents were. Let me answer properly. He pulls out his phone dials. Sarah put me through to the Attorney General. Yes, the Hate Crimes Division. Rebecca's face goes white. Corporate representatives frantically make calls. Marcus speaks his young voice carrying surprising authority. Ms. Chen, you said I didn't belong in first class. You're right. I belong in the boardroom where these decisions are made. The crowd applauds. Phones capture everything. James puts his arm around his son. Marcus, what did we learn today? That systemic change requires documentation, courage, and accountability. And what else that one person's prejudice becomes everyone's lesson when exposed to sunlight. James looks directly at Rebecca. Ms. Chen, you asked what my son's father would do. Here's your answer. I'm going to ensure this never happens to any child again. He addresses the growing crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, discrimination ends when we stop accepting it as normal. Today, we draw that line. The terminal erupts in applause. Rebecca stands isolated, her career destroyed by her own actions, captured forever in viral videos. Media crews arrive as Rebecca realizes her nightmare is just beginning. Within hours, United Airlines stock price plummets 12%. The hashtag Justice4. Marcus hashtag reaches 50 million impressions globally. News crews from every major network descend on the airport like vultures. James Williams stands at a hastily arranged press conference. Marcus beside him facing dozens of cameras and reporters. Ladies and gentlemen, what happened today represents a systemic failure that extends far beyond one employee's actions. James begins. This is about corporate culture training failures and the normalization of discrimination. CNN's Sarah Chen raises her hand. Mr. Williams, some are saying this was entrapment. Your son was documenting incidents for months. James's response is measured but firm. My son shouldn't have to document discrimination to prove it exists. The fact that a 12-year-old needed to collect evidence of racism in 2025 should shame us all. Marcus steps to the microphone. I did this because other kids don't have my advantages. They don't have a CEO father or legal team. They suffer in silence. The room falls silent. A child speaking with such clarity about justice captivates everyone. Meanwhile, in United's corporate headquarters, emergency meetings rage. CEO Jennifer Morrison faces a boardroom full of panicked executives. How did we not know Meridian Holdings was testing our services? She demands. Legal counsel responds grimly. Ma'am, they're our largest institutional investor. They have every right to conduct due diligence. Due diligence. They sent a child to entrap our crew. Ma'am, respectfully, our crew entrapped themselves. The boy did nothing wrong. Our employee discriminated against a paying passenger. Morrison pulls up the viral video again, watching Rebecca's cruelty play out in devastating detail. What's our exposure legally significant, financially catastrophic? We're facing federal investigation, civil rights lawsuits, and potential criminal charges. Criminal charges, ma'am? Civil rights violations can be prosecuted federally. The Attorney General's office is already involved. Back at the airport, Rebecca sits in the airline's crisis management office, surrounded by company lawyers and PR representatives. Her union representative looks grim. Rebecca, they're offering you a deal, her lawyer explains. Resign, immediately participate in sensitivity training, issue a public apology. In exchange, they won't pursue criminal charges. Criminal charges for what civil rights violations? Deprivation of rights under color of authority. The federal prosecutor is calling it a hate crime. Rebecca stares at the settlement papers. Her 15-year career, her pension, her reputation all destroyed by 15 minutes of revealing her true character. What if I fight this with what? There's video evidence, witness testimony, and a documented pattern of discriminatory behavior. Rebecca, you humiliated a child on live stream. You have no defense. Meanwhile, social media explodes with support for Marcus. Raise them right trends alongside justice for Marcus. Parents share stories of teaching their children about dignity and prejudice. A GoFundMe appears for Marcus's college fund, reaching $2 million in donations before James Williams requests it be redirected to civil rights organizations. My son doesn't need college funding, he tells reporters. But thousands of other children facing discrimination do need legal advocacy. The Department of Transportation launches an immediate investigation into United's discrimination practices. The FAA begins reviewing the airline's passenger service protocols. Within 48 hours, United Airlines faces a federal civil rights investigation. 17 additional discrimination lawsuits from passengers inspired by Marcus's courage. Congressional hearings on airline discrimination calls for boycotts affecting their stock price. International media coverage highlighting American racism. James receives a call from the White House. The president wants to meet Marcus and discuss airline discrimination reform. Sir, it would be an honor, James responds. But my son isn't a prop for photo opportunities. If you're serious about reform, we'll discuss policy changes. The president's chief of staff is taken aback by James's directness. Mr. Williams, we want to support your family during this difficult time. This isn't a difficult time for us. This is a teaching moment for America. If you want to help pass the Airline Passenger Rights Act that's been stalled in committee for 2 years, Marcus, overhearing his father's conversation, whispers, Dad, should we ask them to include provisions for children traveling alone? James smiles proudly at his son's strategic thinking. Add it to our list, son. United Airlines Board of Directors holds an emergency session. Jennifer Morrison faces calls for her resignation. This happened on your watch, Jennifer. Board member Robert Sterling declares, Meridian Holdings controls nearly half our stock. James Williams could replace this entire leadership team. What are you suggesting? Full accountability. Fire everyone involved, implement comprehensive anti-discrimination training, and give Williams whatever he wants to prevent a proxy fight. Morrison realizes her career hangs in the balance. Set up a meeting with Williams. Full transparency, complete cooperation. But James Williams isn't interested in meetings. His legal team has already filed suit in federal court seeking not just damages, but systemic changes to airline policies nationwide. The lawsuit demands mandatory bias training for all airline personnel, independent oversight of passenger complaints, financial penalties for discrimination violations, victim compensation funds, public reporting of discrimination incidents. Legal experts call it the most comprehensive civil rights lawsuit filed against an airline in decades. Rebecca Chen becomes a cautionary tale. Her name trends worldwide, but not for reasons she ever imagined. Employment lawyers use her case to train clients about workplace discrimination consequences. She loses her job, her pension, and her reputation. More devastating, she becomes the face of airline racism, her cruelty toward Marcus preserved forever in viral video format. But the real reckoning approaches. Rebecca's formal hearing will reshape her entire industry. 6 weeks later, Rebecca Chen sits in a sterile conference room facing a panel of airline executives, federal investigators, and civil rights attorneys. Her confident demeanor from that day on the plane has vanished, replaced by nervous exhaustion and hollow eyes. The lead investigator, Maria Rodriguez from the Department of Transportation, opens the hearing. Miss Chen, you're here to answer questions about 17 documented incidents of discriminatory behavior over 3 years culminating in your treatment of Marcus Williams. Rebecca's lawyer had advised her to show remorse, but her natural defensiveness emerges. I was doing my job maintaining cabin standards. Attorney Rodriguez slides a tablet across the table showing the viral video. Is this your definition of maintaining standards? Rebecca watches herself humiliating Marcus, cringing as her own voice echoes. This seat costs more than your family makes in months. The room's silence is deafening. Ms. Chen, did you know Marcus Williams had a valid first-class ticket? Yes, but did you know he was traveling alone with proper documentation? Yes. Did you know he was quiet, respectful, and causing no disturbance? Rebecca hesitates, trapped. Yes. Then explain your actions. For the first time, Rebecca faces the truth she's been avoiding. I made assumptions, wrong assumptions. United Airlines corporate representative Patricia Wells presents a damning internal investigation. Ms. Chen, our review found 17 complaints about your treatment of minority passengers, 5 formal grievances, multiple warnings in your personnel file. Rebecca's union representative objects weakly. Those incidents were never proven. Attorney Rodriguez responds sharply. Because victims rarely have the resources to fight airlines in court, Marcus Williams was different. His family has resources, legal representation, and most importantly, video evidence. Geek. The hearing reviews each documented incident. A Hispanic businessman questioned about his first-class ticket legitimacy. An Asian family asked to move from premium seats despite valid reservations. A black woman told her crying baby was disturbing other passengers, while white children nearby were ignored. Multiple instances of random additional security screenings for minority passengers. With each case, Rebecca's pattern of discrimination becomes undeniable. Marcus Williams, now 13, attends the hearing with his father. When called to testify, he approaches the microphone with the same dignity he showed on the plane. I want to be clear, Marcus begins. Ms. Chen didn't just discriminate against me. She revealed a system that allows discrimination to flourish. I was humiliated for 15 minutes. Other kids without my advantages suffer this treatment and have no recourse. Rebecca breaks down, crying. For the first time, she seems to grasp the full impact of her actions. Marcus continues. I don't want Ms. Chen's life destroyed. I want the system that protected her behavior for 15 years to change. The panel is moved by Marcus's maturity and compassion. Attorney Rodriguez delivers the findings. Ms. Chen, you're terminated from United Airlines effective immediately. You're prohibited from working in any passenger-facing airline capacity. You'll complete 200 hours of community service with civil rights organizations. Additionally, you're banned from flying on United Airlines for 5 years. Rebecca's world crumbles completely. Her career in aviation over. Her reputation destroyed. Her future uncertain. But the consequences extend beyond Rebecca. United Airlines faces $47 million in federal fines, mandatory implementation of comprehensive anti-bias training, independent oversight of discrimination complaints, quarterly reporting to federal regulators, public compensation fund for discrimination. Victims' CEO Jennifer Morrison resigns in disgrace. The entire senior leadership team is replaced. James Williams addresses the media outside the hearing. Today isn't about punishment, it's about prevention. No child should ever again face what Marcus experienced. Rebecca emerges from the hearing surrounded by protesters holding signs reading "Justice for Marcus" and "No more airline racism." She hurries to a waiting car, her life forever changed by those 15 minutes of cruelty. Marcus, watching from across the street, turns to his father. Dad, do you think she learned anything, son? Some people learn from consequences. Others just learn to hide their prejudice better. Our job is building systems that protect everyone regardless of which category people fall into. The hearing ends, but the transformation Rebecca's actions triggered is reshaping the entire industry. 1 year after the incident, Marcus Williams, now 13 and taller, sits in the same first-class seat 1A on a United Airlines flight. But everything else has transformed completely. The flight attendant, a young black woman named Ashley, greets him warmly. Good morning, Mr. Williams. Welcome aboard. Can I get you anything before takeoff? Marcus smiles genuinely. Just water, please. And thank you for the warm welcome. Ashley returns with his water and a small badge. This is my one-year anniversary pin. I was hired as part of United's diversity initiative after your case. Thank you for making this career possible for people like me. The changes extend far beyond hiring practices. A mandatory announcement plays during boarding. United Airlines is committed to providing equal service to all passengers, regardless of race, ethnicity, age, or background. Any discrimination will result in immediate crew removal and federal prosecution. At 30,000 FT, Marcus reviews news articles on his tablet about the transformation his case triggered. Airlines report 89% drop in discrimination complaints. The new oversight systems work effectively. Federal Air Passenger Rights Act passes unanimously. Legislation inspired by Marcus's case becomes law. United Airlines wins National Diversity Award. The same company that humiliated Marcus now leads industry inclusion efforts. Marcus's father, James, travels in the seat beside him, reviewing quarterly reports. Son, look at these numbers. 17 major airlines have implemented the bias training program we developed. Discrimination complaints are at historic lows. What about the legal fund, Marcus asks. The Marcus Williams Civil Rights Defense Fund has helped 247 families fight airline discrimination. We've won every case. Their conversation is interrupted by Captain Patricia Martinez, Officer Roberto's sister, promoted to pilot after completing United's new leadership development program for underrepresented employees. Mr. Williams, both of you. She approaches their seats. I wanted to thank you personally. My brother Roberto recommended me for pilot training. United's new promotion policies made it possible. James shakes her hand firmly. Captain Martinez, your brother showed integrity when it mattered most. I'm proud to see United recognizing and promoting people with those values. The ripple effects continue expanding exponentially. Business schools teach Marcus's case as a study in strategic activism. His approach documentation, legal preparation, and systemic thinking becomes a model for civil rights advocacy. Rebecca Chen, meanwhile, completed her community service and works at a non-profit organization addressing workplace discrimination. Her quarterly reports to the court showed genuine growth and understanding. During a recent interview, Rebecca said, "I destroyed my own life with prejudice, but maybe that destruction created something better. Marcus Williams taught me that dignity isn't determined by age, race, or economic status. It's determined by character." The industry transformation accelerates rapidly. Airlines compete to demonstrate inclusion leadership. Discriminatory incidents become career-ending events. Passenger rights expand dramatically. Marcus receives letters from children worldwide who faced similar situations and fought back, using his example as inspiration. "Dad," Marcus says, reviewing the latest batch of thank you letters, "do you think our 15 minutes of pain was worth all this change?" James considers the question seriously. Son, pain without purpose is just suffering. Pain that creates justice becomes heroism. Have you ever witnessed injustice like this? Share your story below. As their plane descends, Marcus opens his laptop to work on his next project, a discrimination detection app. 2 years after the incident, Marcus Williams, now 14, stands at a podium in the United Nations Human Rights Council chamber in Geneva. He's addressing delegates from 193 countries about youth advocacy and systemic discrimination. Honorable delegates, my name is Marcus Williams. When I was 12, I was humiliated on an airplane for 15 minutes. That humiliation became a catalyst for change that has protected millions of travelers worldwide. The audience ambassadors, human rights leaders, Nobel laureates listens intently to this poised teenager who transformed personal trauma into global justice. The woman who discriminated against me taught me something valuable. Prejudice reveals character, but our response to prejudice defines our legacy. Marcus clicks to his first slide. The Global Passenger Rights Initiative, launched after my experience, has now been adopted by airlines in 67 countries. Discrimination complaints have decreased by 73% worldwide. James Williams watches proudly from the audience. Beside him sits Rebecca Chen, who accepted Marcus's invitation to witness this moment. Her presence represents redemption. 2 years of community service diversity training and personal growth have genuinely transformed her perspective. But this isn't about airlines, Marcus continues. This is about the moment we decide that dignity is non-negotiable. Whether in airports, schools, workplaces, or communities, discrimination ends when good people refuse to stay silent. He advances to his next slide, showing children from around the world holding Dignity Matters signs. The Marcus Williams Foundation has helped 1,247 young people fight discrimination in transportation, education, and employment. Each case strengthens the system for everyone. In the audience, Ashley, the flight attendant who thanked Marcus for making her career possible, wipes away tears. She's been promoted to United's Director of Passenger Experience, leading industry-wide inclusion training. Marcus's presentation concludes with a powerful declaration. To the adults in this room, children are watching. When you choose justice over comfort, courage over silence, inclusion over prejudice, you're teaching us how to build a better world. The standing ovation lasts 4 minutes. Later, at a quiet cafe overlooking Lake Geneva, Marcus, James, and Rebecca sit together, an unlikely trio bonded by a moment that changed all their lives. Rebecca speaks first. Marcus, I owe you an apology that I can never fully express. My prejudice hurt you, but your grace saved me. I work with discrimination victims now because you showed me what I had become. Marcus responds with characteristic maturity. Ms. Chen, you gave me a gift. You showed me exactly why this work matters. Your transformation proves people can change when they choose growth over defensiveness. James adds, Rebecca, you've done the hard work of examining your biases and making amends. That takes courage, too. Rebecca nods, then asks, Marcus, what's next for you? Marcus grins for the first time in their conversation, looking like the teenager he actually is. Stanford accepted me for early admission. I'm studying social justice and technology. I want to build systems that prevent discrimination before it happens. And after Stanford, Rebecca asks, maybe law school, maybe tech, entrepreneurship, maybe politics, wherever I can create the most systemic change. James places his hand on his son's shoulder. Whatever you choose, you'll do it with purpose. As they prepare to leave, Marcus turns to Rebecca one final time. Miss Chen, thank you for that day on the plane. She looks confused. Thank me for humiliating you, for showing me my calling. You helped me discover that fighting injustice isn't just about stopping bad things from happening. It's about building good things in their place. Dignity isn't demanded, it's demonstrated. Justice isn't given, it's created. Change isn't hoped for, it's built. One brave choice at a time. Marcus Williams, now a 15-year-old freshman at Stanford University, continues building systems that protect dignity for everyone. His foundation has expanded globally. His discrimination detection app is used by travelers worldwide, and his story remains a powerful reminder that age doesn't determine impact. But Marcus's journey raises important questions for all of us. When you witness discrimination, do you stay silent or speak up? Do you teach the children in your life that dignity is worth defending? Are you building systems that protect others, or just protecting yourself? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us, have you ever witnessed injustice like Marcus faced? How do you teach young people to respond to discrimination? Your engagement creates awareness. Your shares amplify voices. Your stories inspire action. Remember, Marcus was just 12 when he decided that dignity mattered more than comfort. Rebecca was a career professional when she chose prejudice over humanity. The difference wasn't age, experience, or position. It was character. What will you choose when your moment comes? A decorated war hero loses everything to PTSD and ends up living on the streets. When he helps a lost 5-year-old find her parents, police run his fingerprints and discover he's not just any homeless man. He's someone whose disappearance 2 years ago launched a nationwide search. What happened to him? Why did he vanish? And how will this chance encounter with one lost child lead to finding himself? You won't believe the twist that changes everything about how we see homelessness, heroism, and second chances. Don't miss it. Hit that notification bell so you're first to see the story that's making people reevaluate everything they think they know about the people society overlooks. Marcus Williams proved that justice doesn't require age, wealth, or power. It requires courage, preparation, and the unshakable belief that dignity belongs to everyone. His story continues inspiring young activists worldwide to document discrimination, demand accountability, and create systemic change. The question isn't whether you have power to fight injustice. The question is whether you have the courage to use whatever power you have. What will your answer